Hi everyone, this is another timeless message, and one that is specifically for the feminine energy in the twin flame dynamic. Now, there is a huge lesson for the feminine energies on the twin flame journey as it relates to creating healthy boundaries with the masculine energy. As we know, this dynamic is rather different compared to other relationships that you might have had. And therefore, the feminine energy seems to kind of fall for the same pattern over and over, thinking that pretty much each time the masculine energy comes in to communicate with them, that it will be different, or that they will have grown because the separation has been long. Unfortunately, however, as we know it, this journey can take some time before you come into union. So the feminine energy isn't quite sure of what to expect. So as it happens, many a times the masculine energy will come in and out of this dynamic, and not knowing what to expect, the feminine energy does let their guard down, only to learn that the masculine energy does not behave in the manner that the feminine energy is actually expecting. But really, the feminine energy actually needs to take a look at what standard they are setting in their dynamic with their divine counterpart. This pattern does take some time to break out of, but the feminine energy needs to actually get away from the thrill of the short-lived conversations that are presented by the masculine energy, and that will help them to really redirect their focus in creating the healthy boundaries. Now, as confusing as this may seem, the feminine energy does need to realize that regardless of who they are dealing with in their life, they have to set healthy boundaries in all relationships, and the masculine energy is no exception. Boundaries as a term may appear to be harsh or insensitive, but really all this means is that you are acknowledging that you as a person actually matter, and that you also have the right to be treated with the same respect that you give to others. Remember that only you can teach others how to treat you. In fact, a person without boundaries and values just comes across as being a pushover. Someone who is willing to bend at the will of others comes across as not quite having an opinion of their own or having value for their own self-worth. So if you are experiencing this, you have to ask yourself, without any firm boundaries, what are you really teaching others about how to treat you? You have to always remind yourself that your twin has been through their own wounding, traumas, and toxic patterns in relationships, and they struggle with their own issues of self-worth and self-love. Therefore, to expect that they will come in to meet you understanding healthy boundaries and healthy relationships is nothing but a misconception. The feminine energy is the leader in this connection, and therefore it's imperative that you lead by example and set healthy boundaries with the masculine energy as they continue to come in for communication. Now, it is okay if the masculine energy doesn't get this right away, because they may come in testing you to see if you'll cave and really how you'll behave. However, the feminine energy must set a healthy standard for the masculine energy to really conform to. Now, in case you are wondering, how do you actually set healthy boundaries, or why would you need to do that? Well, if the masculine energy sends a message and then leaves you hanging or doesn't reply back when you send a response, and you don't really call out this behavior, that is a problem. This sends a message that you are okay with this lack of communication from their end, and their behavior is okay for you to put up with. If your divine counterpart actually only sends messages to flirt with you or lead you on, and you engage with them in this manner and they disappear again, you are again telling them that you are okay with their willingness to participate in a conversation with you in this way, and they can do this however and whenever they want. Now, it's easy to get upset at this sort of an engagement with your divine counterpart once they're gone again. However, you actually have to ask yourself, what vibrational frequency are you emitting in order to invite this sort of behavior? You always have to remind yourself that the feminine energy acts as a reference point in the twin flame dynamic. The energy that you ascend to and vibrate at is where the masculine energy comes in to meet you. If the behavior does not change, the feminine energy actually needs to take a look at their own thoughts, energetic vibration, and patterns to understand why there isn't a shift that's taking place in the dynamic. Because it's only as you transform will you be able to invite the masculine energy back in a healthy way and consequently change and shift your dynamic. You will have to keep reminding yourself that it always begins with you, and as you set that standard, the masculine energy will follow. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this was helpful. God bless.